Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 46 Robot Masters Tournament. I'm your host, Palpablade, and today we have a doozy of a match between Kammesennin and Shadow. Shadow will be running any percent, and Kammesennin will be running Buster only, so this should be a very interesting match. We're just getting stuff set up here, and we will be ready in a moment. So, as a Buster-only runner myself, I will be able to give a little bit of insight on Kammesennin's run. Not so much for any percent, but I will try my best. Alright, they are starting in roughly 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and they're off. So, with Buster only, Kame will be running Iceman first, which shall be rather interesting. Oh. Alright, there we go. So, we have any percent versus Buster only, so Kammesennin will be running Iceman first. Alright, I'll stop the voice. Anyways, so, as a Buster-only enthusiast myself, Kammesennin will need to work around footholders, which in the any percent route you don't have to worry about. But Shadow will be going through Cutman. And technically, every beginning of a game is Buster only, so... So far, so good for both runners. Interesting tidbit about Iceman, you can actually skip the Yoku block section Buster only. It is a pretty difficult trick, but it is possible. Alright, we'll see what the footholders give Kame. That's half of them done, but now you get penguins. Nice pause to save a death there. And the footholders were nice! Shadow just about to the boss corridor, and he is. So, Cutman is a relatively easy boss. Just have to shoot and jump in the same place. Now, Iceman Buster only is a bit trickier. Iceman's Ice Slasher will get faster through every passing phase, so the timing gets a bit tricky when you let Iceman continue on for longer than you would likely want. But Shadow is out of Cutman, and Kame cleanly defeats Iceman. And now they'll both be going on to Elecman. Oh, I'm actually surprised Kame didn't go Elecman. So I guess Kame is going Fireman next. I thought he went Elecman. My apologies. But with Elecman, just trying to make sure you don't get hit by those weird alien enemies. And you get a short Yoku block section here. And a difficult jump, and Shadow is able to make it. Kame is using some nice damage boost to get through these quickly. We'll see if he is able to get the fire clip. He is. Both runners are able to go through cleanly, and we'll see if Shadow is able to get the Elec Zip. And he does it. Pretty cleanly, in fact. So that is the Magnet Beam, and it will be able to aid in platforming. Which is something that Buster-only runners wish we had. Nice jump over the spine enemy there for Kame. So Fireman Buster Only is actually relatively simple. If you want to do a safe strat, you just stand at the left end of the wall, and whenever he gets up close and shoots his fireball, you just simply jump. However, at the end of the fight, you want to move closer towards him, and Kame does so cleanly. Oh, almost died there. Shadow is at Elecman, but luckily for him, he has the rolling cutter, so it should be a relatively easy fight. And bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Both runners have cleared 2 stages. Kame is now on to Elecman. Wow, Shadow is on to Iceman. So, funny tidbit, Kammesennin actually hasn't been able to run recently, so he just practiced an hour before this. And so far, he's doing really fantastic. There's that Magnet Beam usage that we so desperately want as Buster Only, as Buster Only runners. And unfortunately wasn't able to get the Ice Zip, but with the Magnet Beam it shouldn't be too much trouble. And we'll see if Big Guy does a big or a small jump. He does a small, unfortunately. Wait, Kame doesn't... Oh! That's actually genius. Okay. I thought he was going for the Magnet Beam. I didn't know you could do that. Kame is doing some nice pause tricks, and Shadow is done with Iceman. Who needs beams? So yeah, one little bonus that you get in Buster Only is that you don't need the magnet beam in 46 Robos. So you don't have to worry about that zip. However, if you are doing the regular run, then yes, you have to worry about getting the magnet beam. We'll see if Shadow gets that fire clip. He does. Kame about to elect man. So, elect man Buster Only is somewhat scary. Usually you want to stand a little bit back and just shoot and jump at the same time to avoid trying to get hit by the magnet, or not the magnet beam, the elect man's weapon. So you just got to do the same timing 28 times. But under pressure that could definitely be difficult, but Kame is doing it cleanly. And Kame is through elect man. Shadow is on to Fireman, and Iceman's weapon, you just want to pause buffer and get through that as quickly as possible. While Kame is on to Cutman. Well, thank you. So, good news for Kame is that Cutman is the same as any percent, so he'll be able to catch up a little bit here. Shadow is getting through Bomb Man relatively cleanly. Here's some more Magnet Beam. And here's another zip. And Shadow's just going to play it safe. Or not. And does he get it cleanly? Looks like it. Or pause buffering, helping Shadow to defeat Bomb Man cleanly. And Kame doing your typical Cutman fight. So I believe that means Shadow is on the last stage, Gutsman. Kame may be a couple stages behind, but for Buster Only, this is a really solid run. Oh, and we're on to the same stage, both people on Gutsman. Kame will have to be worried about the dropping platforms. The timing is relatively tight, and messing it up makes you lose 20 seconds. but Kame does it cleanly. While Shadow is almost out of Mega Man 1 with a good Guts fight. Here we're going to use Bomb Man's weapon. I believe there's some type of pause buffer. I have no idea how that works, but Shadow is out of Mega Man 1, and he'll be going to the second game. While Kame just arrives at Gutsman. With some pause buffer tricks of his own. Oh, he's in danger here. But he's able to avoid death. So in Mega Man 2, it's basically a refined Mega Man 1 control. Little less slippery, little more refined. And Kammesennin is off to Bomb Man. That's unfortunate, Shadow. Well, he's got a cushion. He's running against Buster only. We're much slower. And Shadow able to get through Flashman cleanly. So, interesting thing about Mega Man 1 is that even if you're taking damage and you're in iframes, the spikes will still kill you. So that section there is relatively scary, but Kame gets through it cleanly. While Shadow gets the ever-important item 3. All bosses 1 through 5 is going to be 1 through 6, and it's going to be the first robots before the Wily stages. So Bomb Man is actually an interesting fight in Buster only. You can find yourself getting hit by the explosion long after it's disappeared, but Kame narrowly avoids death, and now he is on to Mega Man 2. And we'll see Shadow try to set up the Heatman Zip. And it looks like he's got it. So far for each respective runner there, for any percent in Buster only, these are going really cleanly. Kame doing some air jumps, and he gets through the first part cleanly. So Heatman's relatively interesting. So in both runs you take him down Buster only. And the difficult part is that he has 3 timings of waiting 31 frames, 62 frames, and 93 frames, I believe. And he does a lot of damage if he contacts you while he's in his tackling phase. But Shadow is able to get through that cleanly. Kame traversing through Airman's stage. So Mega Man 2 is rather interesting because you get to see a lot of Buster only in any percent for these fights. If I remember correctly, Flash, Heat, Air. I think that's it. But you're able to see Buster only with Shadow in these boss fights. With Airman, you want to try and get some shots in and get a damage boost before the air passes through, so you're able to damage boost your way through the tornadoes and be able to hit him sooner. That's right, Zipless does quick with Buster. Shadow going through Airman now and has the luxury of the Flash Stopper, so he won't have to worry about having to do the air jumps. And we'll see if Kame is going to try and go for the zip. He does. And he isn't able to get it, unfortunately. So, 8 games. It's actually 1 through 6. As a kid, yep. I think that's where the I can't beat Airman being spawned. So, unfortunately, my streams are buffering. So usually you don't get to see the middle of Crash Man's stage in any percent. And sometimes in Buster Only you're able to skip through it, but you have to do a very technical zip that relies on subpixels, and it is very difficult to get. I myself haven't gotten it. But we have Shadow on Airman's fight. And he's able to get through it cleanly. So interestingly enough, Shadow is on the Rockman 2 version, while Kame, I believe, is on the Mega Man 2 normal version. Normal mode, bosses and enemies take less shots to kill, but since it's the American version, the text is much slower. So it about evens out. Interesting. Funnily enough, I have played 94 Robo's Buster Only. Never want to do that again. That was brutal. So Shadow is just going to go through. I believe there's a zip you can set up right here. Yes, sir. It's a bit slower than what you'll normally see in any percent runs, but it is much easier to set up. Kame going through Crashman's fight. Crashman in Buster Only is actually really fun. He jumps when you shoot, and when he's in the air, you can kind of shoot him down a little bit. You can get a shot in. It's a very rhythmic fight. It's super fun. Kame is now on to Metal Man. And while Metal Man is not really too much of a problem in any percent, Metal Man here is pretty darn difficult. Kame opting to not go for the E-Tank, and he's going to damage boost his way through here, which will take him down to 4 HP, I believe. Or he plays it a bit safe. And he gets some health, so he should be fine throughout the rest of the stage. While Shadow is on to Crashman. So with that same idea, you want to shoot left with Airman's weapon to get him to jump towards you, and you're able to manipulate him to kill him a little bit faster. Kame is making his way cleanly through Metal Man, while Shadow is on to Quick Man. It is just the Robot Masters. So once they beat all of them in a game, they switch over to the next game to beat the next set of robots. So interesting zip from in Quickman's stage that Shadow was able to pull off. I'm not sure exactly how it works, because I'm just a stinky Buster-only runner. Although I do know that in the middle of the zip, you pause just for a moment to try and turn the lights back on, so it makes the section a little slower, but much easier to traverse. So Kame is on to Bubble Man, and here is a zip that is relatively easy to get. We'll see if Kame is able to do it, where you consistently pause, and pausing allows you to go over right a little bit more. And with that, you can use that in Buster Only to be able to set up this zip and save, I believe, roughly 10 seconds. Shadow out of Quick Man. Easy mode in Mega Man 2. I believe in these types of runs it's interchangeable, because Mega Man 2, the American version, the text runs much slower than Rockman 2, which is defaulted to difficulty mode. So I believe it doesn't matter whether you run Mega Man 2 normal mode or the Rockman, because the text is much faster, so I believe it evens out. Normal is slower than 8 Robos? Ah, that's actually interesting. Probably not for Buster Only, though. Alright, Kame is on to Heatman, while Shadow is successfully doing good wood. Again, I am not very knowledgeable on most of these zips. If you'd like more info, Summoning Salt did a video on Mega Man 2, and he'll probably be able to explain it much better than I could ever do. Shadow is out of Woodman with clean execution. Oh, that's unfortunate for Kame. But it's not too big of a problem. That death was thankfully right next to the checkpoint, so it only lost him about maybe 10 seconds. So Heatman actually has some cool zips that you'll see about right here. There you have to jump and press left while holding right. Oh, that's unfortunate. And Shadow is struggling to set up the Metal Man zip, but he's able to get it. Thankfully, Kame is right next to the checkpoint, so those deaths won't cost too much. Here's Kame with the Yoku block section. And he's cleanly through it. And Shadow is through Metal Man, and I believe he only has one boss left, which is Bubble, and then he'll be on to Mega Man 3. And Kame is through Heatman. He's going to have to be a little worried about a death. A game over would be pretty devastating. But turning our attention back to Shadow, he is cleanly making it through Mega Man 2. So you can do... So with that Buster Only zip that Kame did earlier, you can do it a bit faster in any percent with an item 1. And Kame is now on to Woodman. Yes, sir. So, funnily enough, Kame is only running this because I joined in as a joke. I'm also running Buster Only in this tournament. And so... Oh, Kame got an extra life. That is going to be huge. In case another death happens. And Shadow is through Mega Man 2. So, Kame was just kind of dragged along with me. What does an extra life mean? So, typically you have 3 lives, or you can die 3 times before you get a game over. You guys get a chance to face off. Oh, there's another extra life that'll be good for Kame. Yeah, unfortunately, me and Kame are on opposite sides of the bracket, so unless we become god gamers and are able to absolutely destroy the 46 Robot Masters Buster only category, while also simultaneously having all of our opponents just completely crap the bed. There's no way we're fighting each other. Did Shadow switch to Magnet first? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's just a safer option. I'm pretty sure me and Kame will probably set up a fort. Oh, that's an unfortunate death, but thankfully he was able to have that extra man and not have to do Woodman over again. Mostly does Gemini first. I think Magnet first was probably for safety. And Kame is out of Woodman, and I believe he has Quickman left, along with Flashman. But if anyone does want to see me and Kame do a race, that would be... I'm pretty sure we could set that up eventually. So with Mega Man 3, you do get the added bonus of a slide, which makes running a bit faster, but for some reason every game just kinda has a problem with its controls. With Mega Man 3, the controls are fine, but the lag is immense. With Mega Man 4, there's really nothing wrong with the controls, but for Buster only, just a tiny problem is that you need to shoot before you can start charging. With Mega Man 5, you aren't able to charge during a slide, which is dumb. And Mega Man 6, the Buster doesn't actually have any problem. It's the sliding, which is very infamous for not being able to jump out of it. Aside from the deaths Kame is taking, Kame is doing a fantastic job in this brutal category. Especially considering that Kame hasn't played in forever, yeah. Kame is doing a fantastic job. Kame is now on to Quickman, while Shadow is going through Hardman stage. And Quickman is down. So here is Breakman, otherwise known as Proto Man. There's really nothing interesting about him, but he's just a mini-boss for, what, 3 of the 8 stages? He appears in Gemini, so there's Hardman, Magnet Man, and Shadow Man, is I believe where all he spawns in. Oh, I apologize. I'll make it up to you. I'll pay you. I'll Venmo you $100. I'm sorry. So Kame is going through Flashman. Relatively easy stage, and a nice cap off to a relatively difficult category incorporating the zips. But now we see Shadow going through Top Man, usually the favored starting point for any percent runners. I believe it is faster, but Top Man is a much more annoying start because you have to deal with Shadow Man earlier, which is very, very unfortunate. There's that good old Mega Man 3 lag. And Kame is out of Mega Man 2. And I believe Kame will start with Gemini Man. While Shadow is cleanly making it through Top Man stage. I don't think I've actually ever seen Magnet Man first. So this is an interesting route. We'll see if he's able to do the top zip. If he'll go for it. He will play it safe. Good choice. About 10 seconds slower than top first. Interesting. That was 2014, 2016. Yeah. I wasn't into speedrunning back then. Mainly because I didn't know how the internet worked. Because I was a little BB. So there's a nice little zip you can do there in Gemini. To skip the Brakeman animation, if you slide right before you enter the screen and then you jump, you are able to skip that. And also, in turn, you get to save some lag, because interestingly enough, Mega Man 3's music causes a little bit of lag. At least, that's what I've been told. So being able to get rid of the music will help with the lag that is very present in Mega Man 3. We said Hell of Gemini first? Yeah. So Gemini first is typically what you'll see in a Buster only run because of how difficult these slide jumps can be, especially in lag. Ah, that's unfortunate for Kame. The Dragonfly came back and sniped him. They're playing music sound. Is that for all NES games? I actually thought it was only Mega Man 3 that had that issue, at least in the Mega Man games. So Kame with a second try, I believe that should be through with that nightmare of a stage. While Shadow is out of Shadow Man, funnily enough. He beat his old foe. While Kame is on to Gemini. Only stands up because you have ways to remove it. Interesting. So cool thing about Gemini's fight is that at certain points when he's level, you can kind of shoot back and forth rapidly, and it's able to kill him a little, get him out of his first phase a little quicker. Gemini in his second phase, he jumps when you shoot, and if you constantly do that, you can make him avoid ever using the Gemini laser, which, even in the fight, lags the game to hell and back. While Shadow is cleanly making it through Gemini's stage, and Kame is on to another rough fight in Shadow Man. Oh, that's actually kind of what happened with Shadow there. He was running while he was in the animation. That's actually pretty interesting. Alright, Kame is making his way through Shadow Man's stage, while Shadow seems to be struggling a little bit in Gemini. The not being able to jump through that Brakeman entrance is definitely rough. You have a little bit more lag, timings are different. And we're going to get to see our probably only use of Rush Submarine. So the good part about going to Gemini first is that you have an E-tank for Shadow Man's fight, which is definitely a difficult one Buster only. Oftentimes, whatever you think Shadow Man is going to do, he does the opposite. And that leads you to get hit. Excuse me. But Kame is making through it cleanly. The Shadow Blades are definitely annoying, but he is able to beat Shadow Man in the center of the stage, which is always nice. Shadow is also through Gemini Man's stage. I am very glad that Shadow Man for both runners is down, because now I won't get confused when I say Shadow. Yeah, Kame only does Buster only. In fact, in speaking with him, when he played Mega Man when he was younger, he figured out how to use the select screen and switch to the weapons, and he's like, but the first weapon works just fine, so he has done Buster only his whole life. And Shadow is onto Gemini, or not Gemini, Needle Man. You want to avoid missing with the Gemini laser because 1, it lags the game up, and 2, it takes forever to respawn, but Shadow does it cleanly. Yes, this is a 1 through 6 Robot Master Tournament. So interestingly enough, the route for most games Buster only really doesn't matter. You can choose almost any order you want, like how Mega Man was intended. And one of the funnest things to do about it is you can kind of switch around with what order you want to use. For example, in Mega Man 1, me and Kame have a different route. Kame almost taking a death to Top Man there, that was a bit scary. But yeah, that's one of the appeals of Buster only, you can kind of switch up the route. To whatever fits your need. Shadow is making it cleanly through Snake Man's stage. I believe he only has Spark Man after this, so he is almost out of Mega Man 3. While Kame is traversing through Magnet Man's stage. A nice little breather of a stage. Snake Man's stage is always funny to me because you get into a room full of snakes and now you're apparently in Airman 2.0. How many games are they playing? 6. The heck were all those slide cancels? Funnily enough, I've played a lot of Mega Man 6 recently, so I am so scared to jump out of a slide now. Kame showing off by getting sucked by the magnets. And Shadow is out of Snake, and he'll be on to Spark. So with Magnet Man, you want to be able to damage boost to get him out of his magnet phase. But you can only do that roughly 4 times, unless you're able to do that, of which I believe it is almost unlimited. And oh, Kame is out of magnet. You gotta love to see slide cancels. But in a long run like this, slide cancels are very scary, are very annoying. Because you know you can jump out of the slides, it's just you are terrified to, especially after playing Mega Man 6. I would know, because I keep doing that in preparation for my match. Will Kame be able to clip through? He gets it. Alright, here's Sparkman. And there goes Sparkman. And I believe Shadow will be moving on to Mega Man 4. Don't mind me, I'm just going to take a sip of water. Stay hydrated, folks. So Shadow is opting with the Brightman first route in Mega Man 4. It is a little bit slower than the Pharaoh first route, but it is safer if I remember correctly. Shadow might have taken 30 seconds. He might feel bad for Kame since he's running Buster only. Which, thank you, Shadow. We appreciate you, man. It's hard being a Buster only runner. So Snake Man fight's pretty simple. The only real issue that you could have in Snake Man is if you're low on health and you try to dodge him in his first go-around, but once you're over him once, he is very easy to take down. You could also actually shoot the snakes to reduce some of the lag, but that usually only happens by accident. So Kame is on to Sparkman. So, interesting thing about Mega Man 3 is the Doc Robo stages. And Sparkman in the Doc Robo stages is a freaking nightmare. While I know that's not part of the run, I would just like to vent a little bit. Because there is a trick at the beginning of the stage where usually you just use Gemini or Shadow to get past the bug. But someone, rudely, I might add, found a way to get through that Buster only, and now it is a part of the run, and it is brutal. And not to mention, in that same stage, you have to do Doc Quick. which is up there with Doc Wood for one of the stupidest bosses in all of Mega Man. Rant over. So, Shadow is on to Pharaoh Man with the Flash Stopper, being able to just kind of take out a lot of these. Okay, I don't want. I feel bad calling you Fatso, even though that's your name, but I feel like a jerk calling you that. So, do you prefer going by Colonel or Fatso? Oh, you whatever. All right. Okame is out of Spark Man. Okay, I may just be biased because trying to do the ladder bug skip, you lose so much time and then you have to deal with Doc quick. Trying to informally address my... Yeah, that's gotta be weird. So yeah, I'm working with Fatso, you know. He is a really good guy. Alright, so Kame is going through Hardman stage. Immature jokes aside, you want to slide back to despawn the bees to reduce Mega Man 3's notorious lag. Oh, Kame switched to a weapon there. He was about to break the rules. Shadow is cleanly out of Pharaoh Man. And he'll be on to Ring Man, where he will use the balloon, which is one of the most important items in any in any Mega Man game. It's up there with Ice Wall and the items in Mega Man 2. So interestingly enough, with the first Hippo and Ringman's stage, it works similar to how Breakman in the Gemini stage works, where you can just kind of slide and jump to get a little closer to save just a little bit of time. Here's the first mini-boss of the Ringman stage, or the second mini-boss, which can be taken down by an entire Pharaoh shot or 3 fully charged busters. Shadow is cleanly getting through, while Kame gets through the hardest man in the history of men. I will take my comedy award now. Yeah, Ice Wall and Mega Ball are definitely among some of the coolest weapons in any game. Shadow cleanly making it through Ringman stage, while Kame is on to Needle, which I believe is his last stage in Mega Man 3. So now with Mega Man 4, it's just going to be weakness order. gonna use some Flash Stopper here to make it through without having to deal with any of the pit enemies. And the ever so famous lag room, inspired by Mega Man 3. And Shadow makes it through cleanly, and he'll be on to the Dust Crusher section, while Kame is fighting Needleman. So, Needleman's main thing that you want him to do, Buster only, is do the headbutts, which he seems to be giving Kame. Because whenever he does the headbutts, it's always a short jump, and you're able to hit him consistently. And when he does that high jump right there, you aren't able to shoot him very much. And I believe that's Kame out of Mega Man 3. In under an hour, Buster only. That is very impressive. While Shadow is on the Dustman. So, Dustman, he always starts off with his Dust Crusher weapon. And then after that, you want him to jump, and you don't want him to suck. Which he has done twice, but thankfully Shadow had enough HP to damage boost and not lose too much time. So Kame starts with Pharaoh Man, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you in 46 Robos you can actually just avoid getting the balloon altogether, and I believe it's faster to just go through regularly, since you don't need since in Buster only you aren't allowed to use the balloon. But I think Kame might go for it for the health reasonings. Yeah, balloon is Chad, and the jump is always satisfying to get. And Shadow is off to Dustman, or not Dustman, Shadow Man, where I believe this is the only zip in Mega Man 4. And Shadow executes it flawlessly. And Kame is going through Pharaoh Man. So with these platform enemies, if you just slide and don't hold any direction after that, you get to the very edge and you're able to jump. That saves time in the speedrun. Oh, that's an unfortunate death for Kame. Yeah, if I remember correctly, going through regularly is able to save some time, but it's pretty minuscule. But for 46 Robos, where you don't have to worry about using the balloon, it's worth it to go for, to just skip getting the balloon entirely. And also in 94 Robos. And Skullman giving him a good pattern for Shadow, and he is on to Dive Man. So, interesting thing about 4 is that if you stand directly into the center of the stage, you are able to skip a jump animation. And I believe each time it saves about a second. And also interesting tidbit about Mega Man 4's bosses is that they have a distance element to them, where the closer you are to the boss, the more likely they are to do a certain attack. This is mostly helpful in Dustman, Pharaoh Man, and I believe Drill Man. Unfortunately, Kame got some pretty rough jumps there from Pharaoh, but it'll be okay. He's off to Bright Man. So I wasn't able to get to this in Shadow Man's, not Shadow. I apologize, Shadow. I always say Shadow Man, but Bright Man has a damage manipulation, and I believe he also has that proximity thing where if you're closer he'll jump more, and if you're farther away he will use his Buster. But with the damage thing, I believe he uses his Flash Stopper at 20 health, 16, and... no, I think that's wrong. I know there's 4... 16, 8, and 4? That's right. Not 20. And so with the Buster, you want, before he gets to 16 HP, you want to fire one just regular Buster shot in the middle of charge shots, and then that'll allow you to avoid the Flash Stopper. And Shadow Man is out of Dive Man. Where he'll go to Drill Man. And Kame has arrived at Bright Man's fight. And there's Kame getting that regular Buster shot in, and if he just continues using charge shots, Bright Man will never use his Flash Stopper. Oh, unfortunate there, but he is able to cleanly take out Bright Man. We see Shadow using more Flash Stopper, a very useful weapon in this run. Alright, Kame is off to Drill Man. So, Drill Man is actually a relatively annoying boss buster only. Because of his dives, he is a huge problem and can cost you lots of time, not only in any percent, but buster only, it could become a nightmare. So we're going to see Shadow switch to Dive Man's weapon, and we'll see what Drill gives him. So far, so good. And I believe with that, Drill Man's down. An unlimited. That's fun. I really wish that was a mechanic. That would have been really funny to see. And Shadow got 0 dives after the first one, which is always going to happen. So Shadow is sitting pretty. So without the Flash Stopper, this room can get a little terrifying, but usually you can just shoot the falling rocks and you are totally fine. Or sometimes you could even just slide under them. And we have Working with a Raid. Thank you for the raid, Working. Did Shadow game over? I don't believe so. I don't think he's actually taken a death yet. Shadow has been really clean this match. And it looks like Drill was pretty nice to Kame, so... died once in Airman. Ah, I must have missed that. Yeah, Kame is running Buster only in this, so really any stage isn't wrong. Yeah, both me and Kammesennin are running Buster only in this tournament just as a joke. And oh dang, Shadow is off to Mega Man 5. I didn't even realize that. My apologies. So you can just damage boost through those hippos, and it works similar how you use Pharaoh. Buster only is basically just discount any percent. We can do a lot of the same tricks, it's just harder and slower. Shadow is making it cleanly through Starman. While Kame gets through the second hippo. So I'm actually not too sure how Starman's pattern works. I believe it works with whether you're in the air or not along with Starman. I still need to learn how to do how to do Starman, but Shadow cleanly gets through it, and if he's able to set it up, I believe you can get it to where the gravity won't affect you when getting your weapon, which saves a little bit of time. Just decide to not fire the Star Crash. I thought there was some type of manipulation with that. But Starman gives you the Star Crash and the very useful Super Arrow, which will be used a lot throughout the run. And Kame is off to Dustman. Dustman, a very scary boss Buster only. Especially considering you don't have his weakness, he can definitely just decide to ruin your run. Because bosses in Mega Man 4 deal contact damage of like 8 damage, I believe, you can only run into him to cancel his suck so many times. And so for Buster only, it can get really, really dangerous. Along with this lag room. Oh, he's able to save it. Not having the flash stopper here is always painful. And Kame is through to the checkpoint. We'll see if Eddie gives him any health. Eddie, like the good boy he is, helps Kame out. And Shadow is through Gravity Man. Oh, Kame barely avoiding death there. Once he's in Dustman, he will not be able to damage boost unless he takes an intentional death to try and be a little bit faster if he believes he's going to be unlucky. Alright, we'll see what Dust gives Kame. Ah, he sucked. But Shadow is going through Gyro Man really cleanly. I don't think I've actually seen anyone do that. The super arrow is super useful. Oh, screw you, Dustman. We hate Dustman. But Kame is out of it, and he has some pretty simple bosses afterwards. I believe he has Dive Man, Skull Man, and Toad Man. And Shadow is in Euro Man. I can say Euro because I worked at Arby's, so I had to correct people who said Gyro. That was one of the rules. Alright, Kame is cleanly making it through Skullman, while Shadow times all those gravities perfectly. So I believe with that, Shadow is off to Crystal, and we'll see if he will do the Crystal skip or if he'll go through it normally. A lot better, yeah. Oh, looks like he is going to do it. But with the super arrow, I don't actually think I've seen it with the super arrow because I'm just a buster only degenerate. So we will see. Oh, does that work? It does. All right. And so now we wait a minute. We'll see what pattern Skull gives Kame here. Not the worst, but all right, that was a good Skull shield, and I believe, he has to wait one more. We'll see what it gives him. Not too bad, but there is Kame out of Skullman. Okay, I was really slow reading that. I thought you were telling me to do that. I was like, what did I do? Alright, and Shadow is out of Crystal after dying and respawning into the boss room. Yeah, you can time it buster only. I think it's a bit more difficult than the super arrow version, and it's a little slower, but it is still doable buster only. Like I said, buster only is just discount any percent. We can do the same tricks, it's just harder and slower. Shadow is making his way through Napalm now. While Kame is making his way through Toadman. So interesting thing about the snails buster only is that you can hit the snails before they're fully spawned, as you saw right there. And that allows you to two-cycle these snails with a fast enough mash. Isn't Buster Only Crystal Skip faster? I don't think so, because you have to slide your way up to it. Be done faster if you do the setup fight because you respawn quicker. Really? Okay, I didn't actually know that. Alright, Kame is on the most difficult boss to ever defeat Buster Only. And we're going to ignore the time that I died to Toadman in a race, because that didn't happen. And Kame is out of Toadman and will be moving on to Dive Man. While Shadow finishes Napalm. I think everyone did. Alright, so Shadow is off to Stone Man, while Kame is just about to finish Mega Man 4 with Dive Man. So Dive Man stage is rather interesting because you can't jump out of a slide while you're in the water, so you're basically playing Mega Man 6 on the moon. And Kame able to mash down. Oh, I forgot his name. I know it was a funny name. Oh, what's the whale's name? I can't believe I forgot the whale's name. I feel like such a jerk. Yes, because you can't jump out of a slide. Mega Man 4 likes to incorporate a lot of the other games into some of his stages. It references Mega Man 3 and Dust Man with that lag room. Duff McWhale. Alright, we're gonna call him Duffy. Kame able to mash down both of them. Oh, it's not Moki. I think it starts with an M. Doesn't it? I forgot. But Shadow is making his way through Stone Man cleanly. One of the longest stages in the series, if I remember correctly. So Dive Man Buster Only is pretty simple. That distance manipulation, if you're far enough away, you are able to get him to spawn the missiles and just stand still and be able to shoot with a fully charged Buster and be able to take down Dive effortlessly. And with that, Kame is out of Mega Man 4, I believe. And Shadow is off to Charged Man, while Kammesennin goes into his favorite game, Mega Man 5. We'll see if he's able to get the crystal skip here. Also, for anyone coming in here a bit late, my stream is very, very delayed, so I apologize in advance. Ah, Kame wasn't able to get the skip. A little unfortunate, but we will get to see, I believe we will get to see Crystal's stage fully. While Shadow is making his way through Charge Man. Moby, that's right. Oh! Oh, that makes things a lot easier. Yeah, I'm new to this whole commentary thing. Okay, this is much easier. Alright, so Shadow is going to be canceling the Power Stone, which is not a bad weapon. I will fight people on that. And he pause cancels and is able to defeat Chargeman easily. How am I grabbing the E-Tank? And Shadow is out of Chargeman. While Shadow is on the last stage in Mega Man 5, Wave Man. Listen, Eddie is a nice guy. He's trying his best. So interestingly enough, with Wave Man, the first half of the stage, you can't kill any enemies. And Kame is out of Crystal Man. And Shadow is able to get through the bubble section nice and easy. We'll see if he's able to get the wave skip. Unfortunately not. That's not going to lose too much time. And it is safer to not go for that just in case you fail it. That's the soft block. Family-friendly channel. Whatever. Screw the family. You talk about whatever you want. Kame's making his way through Gravity Man. Fun tidbit about Gravity is that you have to press up to slide in this game. Really? Okay. Hot Dot, why didn't you commentate this one? You know a lot more than I do. All the Speedgaming channels are good. Oh, come on. You don't want to get banned? Being banned is so funny, though. No, Kame, remember, this is your favorite Mega Man game. In fact, it's your favorite game of all time. And we have almost a simultaneous kill. While Shadow moves on to Mega Man 6. So, Mega Man 6, infamously, you cannot jump out of a slide, which, for any newbies that join the game, it is a very difficult transition, especially if you look like a game, but you are able to jump out of a slide. I was only joking with other people taking over commentary. I joined this one mainly because I wanted to commentate doing Buster only. I've got to give some insight on the category. But Shadow is cleanly going through Windman's page. While Kame is Napalm, what, at third? That's actually a really interesting route. All right. Kame is getting through Napalm rather nicely, while Shadow is at the Windman fight. Shadow is doing a spectacular job so far with his run. I believe only one death so far, but in a long run like this, that is very impressive. And he is out of Windman. Alright, Kame is now down with Napalm. Interesting thing about Napalm is that if he kind of also has that distance manipulation like in 4, and with most bosses that's kind of the case. Where if you're close, they'll kind of just act like Toadman. But with a little extra flair. And speaking of flair, Shadow Man is in Flame Man. A personal favorite stage of mine. This is always a fun stage to go to. While Kame is at Euro Man. Alright, are we back? I think we're back. You gotta love my internet, man. Let's go, rural areas. Shadow is making it cleanly through Flame Man stage. Kame still has a chance as long as Shadow dies in game overs about 5 times, I think. Kame is on PB pace. That is always good. Love to see a PB. And Shadow is through with Flame. While Euro Man is giving Kame a bit of trouble, but he's able to manage it. And I believe Shadow will move on to Blizzard next. Yeah, this isn't Buster only, this is PDs only. Alright, Shadow. Go for Bomb Skip. I want to see some Bomb Skip. I want to see one of them go for Bomb Skip. You should totally do Bomb Skip. Listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. Dude, Bomb Skip is the freest, most easy, trick to get in any game. It's totally not completely random. Shadow's making it through Blizzard nicely. Will he do bomb skip? Will he listen to the commentator that absolutely knows what he's talking about? Just win the see, it's that easy. Just win the coin flip. It's not that hard. Aw, Shadow didn't listen to me. I can't believe it. All right, Kame, you gotta make me happy and go for bomb skip once you get there. But Blizzard Man, relatively easy fight. You want to go up against the corner and hope he doesn't roll out a lot. He is getting really close to Shadow there, but he's able to manage. While Kame is on Starman. And Starman's down. So Shadow now only has 5 Robot Masters left. Kame is serving up some nice fresh Minute Maid lemonade. So Stone Man stage is a pretty big of a slog. It just goes on and on. And on and on and on and on. But with the Charge Buster, a lot of enemies just completely die. Shadow doing an excellent job jumping on these platforms. Always a scary thing. He is traversing nicely, and he is at Plant Man. So, I'm actually not too knowledgeable about how do the Plant Man fight fast with Blizzard. I don't know exactly how it works, but we'll see if Shadow's able to get it, where Plant Man just runs around endlessly. I have no idea how that works, but it's cool. And Shadow only has 4 Robot Masters left, while Kame is almost out of Stone Man. Positioning to the next. Oh, interesting. Do you think that could work for Buster only too? Shadow on Mega Man 6, yes sir. Kame is still in Mega Man 5. Working every category. Oh, sweet. I might have to start integrating that into Buster only. I thought you could only do that with the Blizzard. Guess who's going back to Mega Man 6 Buster only? Woohoo! Shadow was making a clean leap for Tomahawk Man. The Flame Blast is working amazingly. And Kame only has 2 bosses left in Mega Man 5. Jefferson. Oh, neat. This flame weapon is really good. I actually didn't know how good of a weapon that was. But it is. Wow. In my buster-only brain. 4 damage to every enemy. Okay, putting the buster to shame. Alright, so Tomahawk, you have to get up really close, which is definitely scary. Especially if he corners you. But Shadow is able to do that very cleanly. Kame is making it cleanly through Charge Man stage. I actually don't know if he's still on PB pace. No, Kame, you love Mega Man 5. Remember, it's your favorite game ever. Shadow is off to Yamato, and Yamato's interesting because in any percent you are at the second path to get Beat Letter is actually faster than going normally. Kame only has Wave Man left in Mega Man 5. And then he'll sadly have to say goodbye to Mega Man 5. Mega Man 5 is his favorite. See, I'm telling you, Kame, you know you love the game. And from what I'm seeing, Kame has soft lock. That is really unfortunate. But this is the only time you get to see the dolphins facing backwards, so enjoy that. While Shadow is making it through Mega Man or Nightman, we'll see if he's able to get through the spike section. He is able to. And the bot dot coming clutch with the password save for Kame. And Kame will finish. They have a website for that? That's actually pretty funny. Alright, Shadow, you should totally do Centaur Man, completely Buster only. Even though I think you're on PB pace. Just for the memes. Oh, that's really neat. Alright, Kame is back in Waveman. While Shadow is on Centaur. Shadow is making it through Centaur cleanly. Night Crusher being a huge help in that. Will he be able to get the water? Okay, he's able to do it. A little bit of struggle, but we'll actually see whether or not... I believe Shadow will be able to finish Centaur before Kame can get to the man. Alright, Shadow is on the final moments of this run. I believe this will be a 1:46:20? Oh, maybe much faster than I thought. Oh, he missed the Night Crusher. But Centaur was nice to him, and that is a 1:46:13 for Shadow. He has won the match while Kame is at Waveman. And now we will turn our time over to Kame full time. Congratulations to Shadow. And I believe in the tournament, let's see where he will move on. So Shadow will be playing the winner of Mellow Flows and Kaiser Krister. So stay tuned for that. That will be a fun one. And we turn the time over to Kame. And yes, GG to Shadow. Alright, Kame, you gotta go for bomb kick. You know you gotta. Make my day. We're gonna see Shadow play some more nice. Alright, Kame, are you gonna go for the bomb skip? Aww. I'm perfectly fine if you keep going, Kame. So, Lizard Man, you obviously don't want him to roll as much. And depending on what strategy you use, you might want to hold the left wall, but that could also send him ramming into you and making lizard patterns, which means you lose your charge shot. But Kame is able to take that real easy. And I believe he will move on to Flame Man, I believe is next. In Kame's route. I was wrong, it's Nightman. So, Nightman and Mega Man 6 is actually a pretty big RNG swing. Him walking is a very big problem for Buffalo. And it just kind of leaves you... It's just kind of a problem. Kame is making it through nicely though. And we'll get to see Shadow's Mash. Probably making it to Nightman. We'll see what Nightman gives him. Jumping is usually fine, but him walking is typically a problem. And then you can kind of jump in awkward scenarios where you can't hit him. So, Kammesennin Nightman, and I believe next is Flame Man. Nope, Tomahawk. See, that's the beauty of Buster Only. We all have different routes. smash down the net defender. I wonder if anyone has tried to get the net hit just for like hours, and then eventually they'll empty. I really hope they added that detail. That would be so funny. I'm getting through the second level. Well, Tomahawk fight itself isn't too bad of a problem, what you do gotta look out for is him cornering you. If he's able to corner you, then it's a scary. But if you're able to kind of keep him in the center of the stage, it's pretty simple. And whenever any of his, either his silver tomahawk or his other attack, once it goes off screen, then he has a little bit of a timer of what he's doing next, whether it's a jump, hop forward, do another tomahawk, or do another, whatever the red thing is. And Kame's through tomahawk. Are you going to get to keep him locked in and forte from Shadow? Yes, sir. Alright, Kame is on to Plantman. Plantman is a relatively Pantheon. Shadow has finished his run. Kame is 5 boxes away from the run. So this mini boss can be a bit tricky. I like to go up and try to mash it down. Other people like to try and get back in the blade shot. I've been able to get it to where he only uses one of the for a particular shot. Very satisfying when it's actually down, but it can get up. I'm able to bring them down here simply. And use the platform. Usually in Buster only, we like to. Oh, that's an unfortunate death. Keeping the platforms open is helpful because of the fish. Alright, here's take 2. He's able to kill the fish, open the platform, and golden. This section is very scary Buster only. Because of not having the flame weapon, not having that part is very difficult. And you have to constantly wait and try and control the shot. It is very scary. be able to do what I saw Shadow was going to do, but Batman typically, if you don't do that little trick you can do that we saw Shadow do, typically you want him to jump to the left a lot. That's really what you want him to do. It was through Plant Man with 4 robots to go. Alright, now we're on to Flame. I kept jumping the gun thinking Flame Man was dead. I was again a personal favorite stage of mine, and it was awesome. I played this game recently, yet I feel like I forgot a lot about it. I just kind of did what I did in the game. Just played the game, plus only, got a good time, but I can't explain anything. All that we can be grateful about is that Kame didn't have to do 1 through 6. Because then he'd have to deal with that's then he'd have to deal with the piston. Any of you know anything about power piston? Power piston, that is a third of it. Let Kame look at the rest of the stage cleanly. And he is off the Flame Man. So, interesting tidbit about Flame Man. If you stay 2 background pillars away, approximately from Flame Man, you'll never get hit by his flame weapon that goes along with it. So Flame Man is now down, and he's got Yamato, Wind, and Centaur left. So, just for later, we have 2 more matches in the 46 Robot Masters tournament. One is Mr. Cab versus Mad Mega in about 5 hours, and Stacio versus Hot Dot in about 7 hours. So with Buster only, you can't go into that top path and you can't 20% with head adapter right here. And so typically what you're just going to have to do is the bottom path is quite a bit slower. And you don't get that awesome window shot from the top out. just another ton of boost together. But Kame is making so man, you want him to shoot his spears as much as possible. Unfortunately, not getting Kame's that. But after he does 2 of the same move, then he's guaranteed to do the other. So it's a bit of a help there. And if he's on the ground and the spear hits you, then it stops in place. But if you jump over it, it goes into the wall. And now Kame is out of Yamato. I believe Kame will do Centaur last, so next up is Wind. Another fun tidbit about the character is that each of the 8 robot masters are based off of somewhere in the world. I don't know if I can remember all of them. I believe Blizzard Man is Canada, Wind Man is China, Flame Man is... Oh... No, Flame Man is Arabian. Not too sure. But Plant Man is Brazil, Tomahawk is America, Yamato is Japan, Knight is Greece, I believe. Or no, that... I think Knight's actually England, and Centaur is Greece. Favorite robot out of the 46? Ooh, that's me. I'm actually not too sure. I usually like a lot of the later Honestly, I'm not too sure. Flame Man is definitely up there. I'm enjoying Crash Man's fight, but overall, I'm not too sure on Crash. I think if I did have a favorite boss, it'd be Ring Man from 46. I like his stage. I think the fight is fun. But Flame Man is probably better. I think a more interesting question for me is my least favorite, because there's a lot. I do not like Iceman is the same, as well as Elect Man. Gemini Man is definitely a rough one. But those are... What about the weapon? Well, fun news for you, I am also a Buster Only runner, so I haven't actually used the weapon in a long time. For these games. But, Kame is on the final stage. Oh, favorite weapon. Oh, that's unfortunate for Kame. but he's at the home stretch. My favorite weapon. Oh gosh, the Night Crusher's a fun one for me. I haven't used it in a long time. I think the Ice Blast is a good one for me. Not really anything from Mega Man 2 or 3 or 5. If you want one of... Okay, this is going to be really embarrassing. I love using the Power Stone. I think it's a really fun weapon. Power Shot is good. Yeah, the Flash Chopper is the buff here, but then it removes the challenge. Everything's frozen. If there is a weapon that I love to use the most, even though it's usually not the best, it's the Power Stone. I love using the Power Stone. So much fun. So yeah, I'd say Ice Flash with Power Stone and favorite in 46 at least in the 46 world base. Alright, Kame is on Centaur. So Centaur, in this fight, you want him to walk mostly. I believe there's at least one point where you want him to disappear so that it's laggy. But for the most part, you want him to walk away. Alright, one more charge shot, and Kame is done. Congratulations to both Kame and Shadow. That was a very fun match to commentate. I really enjoyed it. GG to Kame. Running Buster only. My man. I'm not the only one to run it. Hey, it's Kame!
It's me. What's up, y'all? GG, Shadow. Oh, Shadow's not in here. I'm sorry. I thought he was in here.
Shadow is not in here, unfortunately.
I saw 3 people, just assumed.
GG on the Buster only, man. It was a pleasure.
Oh no, that was terrible. That was a really good D-Rust, you know? That's basically what it was. I've had an hour of practice in I don't know how long.
Well, you still did better than my PB, even with the soft lock.
Oh no. Don't worry, you'll beat my PB in no time.
Racing Kame still beat the... Okay. So, I'm indirectly racing you according to Mello, so I will be trying to beat the 210.56.
Whoops, I hit my split button out of habit. Oh well. Pretend it took 4 hours.
Pretend it took 4 hours? Understandable.
There we go. Beat the 210.56, he says. Yes, that's what I want to see. I want to see that. I want to see that during your match. Who are you going against again, Palpy?
I am going against Asnell. Or Asnell.
Asnell? Oh, okay.
Asnell.
Haven't seen Asnell.
I felt bad. I kind of emphasized the ass part of Asnell.
Whoops.
Oops.
I don't
Sorry,
know.
Asnell.
I just assumed Asnell. So yeah, I see people asking what favorite weapons are. I'm gonna give everybody 3 guesses what my favorite weapon is.
Is it Rush Coil?
It is, because I used it the most during this run compared to everything else. So you're right. You know what? Rush Coil. Yep, you got me.
I win. Everyone loses, I win.
All right. man, no, that was I mean, all things considered, like I said, I only had an hour of practice total, so like I'll take this run. It's okay. I'm not mad. I'm a little offended by some of the deaths that I got, but a lot of it is just not being used to the jank that is Mega Man 3 through 6 controls. I mean, they just do weird things, and my brain does not compensate for that stuff, even when I'm well practiced, which hasn't been since probably literally 3 years ago, when I did the Triple M Buster only.
It's nice to see you running again. What I like to do, what I've been doing is I usually just go for an easy stage first. Like if I'm switching to Mega Man 3, I'd do like Top Man first or Magnet Man first. That way I get used to the controls without having a difficult stage to do so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never really did it that way because I like to keep my order the same, keep my muscle memory the same. Whatever it is I have to do on each stage and whatever I have to keep in mind, I just keep it the same. Like even for 46 Robos, for the most part, my orders are still all the same as what I run the individual games, and that's just to keep everything in my mind and keep myself. I mean, I dare say consistent, despite what we saw today, but you know that's the intent.
Hey, for only having an hour of D-Rust, I'd say a 210 is pretty darn solid.
I'll take it. I'm not complaining. I'm not mad. You know, it's all good. I'm a little upset that I missed Crash Zip, especially because I nailed it first try in practice earlier today. I absolutely nailed it, and I was like, oh good, I still remember how to do this. Go for it twice. Whoops. Well, there goes 20 seconds. Bye.
I still gotta learn how to do that Crash Zip. I might try to even learn Ice Zip for my match. We'll see.
Go for it.
I mean, what have I got to lose? I'm running Buster only versus an any percent runner. So
I know what that's like, as it turns out. No, this is like far from my first tournament I've entered where I'm just like, let's go Buster only versus whoever and see what happens. I've made it kind of far in some of the other tournaments, mostly Mega Man 2 randomizer tournaments, but
yeah.
I don't go into these things expecting to win. Come on, that's not realistic. I'm going in expecting to have some fun and to give myself a little bit of practice with the race time nerves because it just makes me better.
Ah, come on, man. We were supposed to make it to grand finals, though. That's what I put in my prediction that I didn't submit.
Green Z Saber, doing one of the bosses that give an item number at Mega Man 2 last does save time. I believe it does so even in Rockman 2 because there is still a message from Dr. Light, despite it being faster. It still is there, and you're skipping that whole thing. So yeah, saving one of them for last is a time save. And I personally save Flash for last just because he's my last one anyway, and he's only my last one because he's the easiest one. And man, no quick kill on Flash today. Not in practice, not in the run, neither one. I just didn't get it, and it's so easy.
I still have to learn how to do Flash, man. I am terrible at Mega Man 2, but I'm making it work. I think with that, we will end this segment. Thank you everyone for watching. It was an enjoyable stream. Go follow both Shadow and Kammesennin on Twitch. They are awesome people to watch. And with that, we will end it here. Thank you, everyone.
Go follow Palpy as well. He's a great commentator. He did fantastic according to the chat, and I'm inclined to believe them because I know him. Good job, man. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Take care. We'll see you later for Papat's match against, I forget who, and I'm sorry.
Sage here, I believe.
I'm so bad at memory. This is why I have to drill the muscle memory things so deep into myself, because, yeah, I forget things all the time.
All right. We'll see you, everyone. Toodles.